Hot gamer boys and e-girls, we did it! We beat the memes! Hey guys, it's Bro You Wack, and welcome to the top 5 episode where today we're finally going to be looking at the top 5 most unmeta heroes in Overwatch. If you're new to this series, if you're new to season 3, if you're just new to my channel, you're probably already annoyed by me. It's okay, I get annoyed by me too. And I have to live with myself, so how do you think I feel? Every single Saturday, we do a top 5 or 10 episode looking at whatever in Overwatch. Whether it's skins, heroes, abilities, and we always leave it up to you guys to vote for next week's episode. And whenever that happens, it always causes a stupid meme. And for the past couple of weeks, it's always been to not vote for the top 5 most unmeta heroes in Overwatch. But for some reason, when I pinned it up against the top 10 best sprays in Overwatch, y'all didn't want to see that episode as much. So I know how this is gonna go. I've done this before, alright, with Soldier, with Arissa, and now with this past meme, and I know what's gonna happen. The top 10 best sprays is gonna be the episode that nobody votes for. Or maybe not. Maybe y'all will prove me wrong this time around with the poll. Yeah, probably not. Just vote in the top right hand corner. Top 10 best sprays in Overwatch versus the top 5 best seasonal maps. Beforehand, I did look at the top 5 best and worst maps in Overwatch, and while it was a little bit different from my typical top 5 video, they still went over amazingly well. So this time around, I figure I look at skins that are redecorated for a specific event. But boys and e-girls, can't forget about the sweet, sweet e-girls that I keep sacrificing my integrity for. We gotta talk about the top 5 most unmeta heroes in Overwatch. And the simplest way that I really went about deciding who were the most unmeta heroes in Overwatch is kind of in the name. Has there ever been a meta specifically built for that hero? Or have they just been a staple in a bunch of team compositions? Take Lucio for an example. Spoiler alert, Lucio isn't on this video in case you weren't aware because he's been meta for 21 seasons. And if you answer no to either of those questions, more than likely they're on this list. And the 5th spot just really embodies what unmeta was for the longest time, and it wasn't until just recently that he became somewhat viable. Homies, this is gonna be the one, the only Angry Santa, aka Torbjorn. Now, a lot of people take the number 5 spot thinking that's the number 1 spot, but it's just because it's at the beginning of the video and then they start hating the video right at the get-go. But you have to realize that he's not higher on this list because, yes, he has became somewhat viable. He went under that big rework period after years, and I really mean it, years of him being the iconic throw hero. Like, if you played Overwatch from 2016 all the way to like 2018, maybe even early 2019, you would know that Torbjorn was not the go-to pick. You knew that every single time someone locked in Torbjorn, they were probably either A, going to throw, or just tear things up, man. Like, there were some amazing Torbjorns way back in the day. He was very underrated, but he wasn't the best hero by any stretch of the imagination. And why wasn't Torbjorn the best? What made him so unmeta? It's the fact that he was so tied to his turret that he couldn't get into the action. Like, that was the only reason why you played Torbjorn, is that you had a turret that was accurate 100% of the time, unless he got blocked by like a shield or something. But that meant that the Torbjorn player had to be right next to his turret, touching himself, and he was just building up his turret, and he couldn't use his powerful rivet gun. Like, his rivet gun is extremely powerful, but he couldn't do that when he was just using his hammer and just hitting a stupid turret! Like, most of the time you either saw Torbjorn players doing one of two things. Either one, jumping off the map. I'm not even kidding, that's what you saw a lot of Torbjorn players do because he just was that useless. Or the second thing was he was building his turret and also touching himself, but we try not to talk about that because we understand he has needs. Was he being a DPS hero? Not necessarily, but he was a DPS hero, but he was built as a defense DPS hero, which is why he had the armor and the scrap and whatnot, but Blizzard realized their mistake. Alright, they realized, oh, Torbjorn players are spending more time collecting scrap and hitting away at their hammer and their meat. We should probably redesign it so that he can actually do something with his life. So then he went under surgery, they got rid of his scrap mechanic and made so that his turret could just build on itself. You can throw it wherever you want it to go and forget that it's even there. It's honestly such a great rework, and it's why he's only at number 5. But for years, he was the throw hero. For years, he was one of, if not the most unmeta heroes in Overwatch. But now he has lava jizz, which is why he's only at the number 5 spot. He would be higher if I did this list about a year ago, but I mean, look at how amazing my man's is. But ooh, for the number 4 spot, we gotta hear that might cause some controversy, which I'm never afraid to stir the pot a little bit with these top 5 videos. Boys, the 4th most unmeta heroes in Overwatch is Pharah. This might surprise some of y'all. Y'all might be looking at a screen and like, see, this is why you don't get laid. You're dumb, I hate you, just kill yourself. Like, whoa, calm down there, all right? I wish I could do the third thing. Like, do you think I want to be living this life? No, I don't. But let me ask you this, what is more meta, Pharah by herself or Pharah with Mercy? See, that's where I got you. This is a list talking about single heroes, and Pharah has never been a meta hero. Pharmacy has, Mercy and Pharah has. Yes, that's an awesome tandem, but never Pharah. Pharah is just Junkrat with wings. She is so easy to kill, so vulnerable, and she's honestly a glass cannon. Like, she's a great DPS hero, but a little downfall about Pharah, which is actually the reason why you play Pharah, is the fact that she can fly in the sky. But that makes her even more vulnerable to what, boys and girls? Hit scans! It's one thing to have counters, such as Genji. You think of Zarya, you think of Winston, but those are only a couple. What about Pharah's counters? It's not just Soldier, it's not just McCree, it's not just Ashe, it's literally anyone that can aim in the sky and shoot at her. Mei, Genji, Hanzo, Zenyatta, Lucio even. Like, there are so many people that can look at Pharah by herself, or I need to remind y'all, by herself, and just kill her. And the only time that I find her actually being a meta hero is when the other team doesn't have a hit scan. But that's not necessarily like a hard meta. It's not like a GOATS meta, it's just a temporary meta because it just takes one person on the enemy team to switch to any of the various hit scans or even projectile heroes like I mentioned before to cause you to switch off of Pharah, to make you realize the mistakes that you made in your life, to make you realize that you're just a lonely e-boy that doesn't have an ego to play Mercy to pocket you. No, I'm not talking about myself! Pharah's bad by herself, I stand by my word. Pharmacy's amazing, but if you're lonely like me and have no friends to play Mercy, then you're SOL. But what about the third most unmeta hero in Overwatch? Already pissed off a large majority of the Overwatch player base, why not piss off the furry community, Mastery and Gamer? Boys, it's Hammond. I feel like this is a hero that's overhyped when it comes to the meta train. Like, there are so many people that play Hammond because he's cute, because he's adorable, and he can cause some damage, but is he better than Reinhardt or Zarya or D.Va or literally any other tank? Not necessarily. Why? Because he's so susceptible to CC by crowd control. And I think that's why so many people try to be good with Hammond, because it's a challenge. You gotta think that a hero that is built, that is literally designed for you to get your hands dirty and to get mixed in with the enemy team is probably gonna get stopped by a shield bash, by a McCree stun, by a Roadhog hook, by a Mei freeze, by a Sombra hack. There are so many things that could easily stop a ball because he has no way of really defending himself when he is moving around the map. He's in defense mode at least half of the time, which means he's half of the time susceptible to the crowd control abilities like I mentioned before. Now, that's not to say that he's a bad tank, that's not to say that he's bad at DPS, but what I am trying to say is that there are so many other options, bro. Like, why are you playing ball? Why do you keep dying? Why do you keep falling off the map? Like, I get it, he's a challenge, you can go rogue and you don't have to rely on your teammates, but my guy, if we're losing, play something else. I can't Dragon Blade with your Hammond lines. Play a Zarya. We're done over here. But boy, once you get that one Hammond player on the enemy team that you just cannot stop, it's one of the most annoying things of all time. Like he's one of those heroes that it's so hard to master because he's more than just about aiming. But when someone does spend the time to do that, and they also become a furry, like there's just no stopping that. But we gotta talk about the number 2 spot. I always hate bringing up this hero because it's like saying K-pop is a bad adjective. I don't even want to say it because there's going to be some K-pop stans that clip that specific part of the video of a negative adjective about their God-given music that I don't even want to test it. Same thing with Symetra. Oh yeah, Symetra's the second most unmeta hero in Overwatch. I'll try to make this quick because whenever you bring negativity to a queen like Symetra, which I need to remind you, I love Symetra, but you gotta admit, for years, just like Torbjorn, she was an unmeta hero. She was almost seen as a throw hero, but unlike Torbjorn, people that played Symetra actually tried. They tried their little heart out, and it wasn't until she got her 3rd rework. Okay, you gotta think about it. She's got under 3 whole reworks, and she's just now barely viable, or at least currently she's a bit more viable, because directly after her 3rd rework was when she actually received a meta spot. Every single hero I feel like has had a meta spot, with maybe the exception of Hammond, but that's just because he's not a brand new hero, but he's somewhat of a new hero. Symetra at the beginning was tough, and then the 2nd time around was even tougher, and the 3rd time around was glorious because you were actually able to build your beam on shields, which was so easy against double shield that you could just be a DPS god. You were the best DPS hero once you got to beam to level 3. But then she got a nerf. And then shields got a nerf. Less health to shields, which means that you weren't able to build your beam as easy, which means that she was just like another DPS hero. I don't know, Symetra, she's definitely not as bad as she once was back in 2016 or even 2017, but just like Torbjorn, she has that bad taste in so many people's mouth of being that hero that you saw locked on the screen and be like, yeah, how about no? How about a McCree? How about a Tracer? How about you just leave? But then even in her times of being meta after that third rework, it was somewhat hard to work with her. She needed a Lucio, she needed a shield, she needed a fast aggressive comp because she could easily die. It's not like she could be by herself, she needed help from her team, which could be said for a lot of heroes, but Symetra was tough to work with at the beginning and tough to work with in her times of meta, but at least she got to be meta. At least she's had her time of popularity, unlike the hero at the #1 spot, because this hero has never been the meta hero. This hero's never been the hero that people call upon. Maybe for Pharah, but never has been an OP hero, which is really what embodies an unmeta hero. Ladies and gentlemen, this is someone that you probably forgot about. This is someone that you probably didn't think was gonna be at the #1 spot, but you would agree that it's probably the most unmeta hero in Overwatch. This is Baby Diva! I mean, am I wrong? Am I really that incorrect about Baby Diva being the most unmeta hero in Overwatch? I mean, is there ever a time, like this is a joke obviously in case you couldn't tell, but I don't really ever recall a time where you want a Baby Diva. No, unfortunately that's not the #1 spot because it's technically not a hero even though it's Soldier. It's Soldier 76. I always say this, but I'm gonna say it again. Jack Morrison is the jack of all trades and master of none. And whenever that happens, you're gonna get other heroes that can do your job, but better. You have a McCree, he does better at DPS. You have a Tracer, she's way faster than Soldier. You have a Mei, way better at self-healing. His whole entire toolkit is just outperformed by someone else. What else can you do with Soldier? You can have Attack Visor that can get blocked by a shield, or a Diva Defense Matrix, or a Zenyatta ult. Okay, I mean, you're a hit scan that can shoot the Pharah, yeah, but that can also be done by Ashe or McCree or just literally anyone that, well, I said in the Pharah spot, that can just shoot into the sky. Like, what can Soldier do that you want to be called upon? Oh, his Helix rocket. This is the one thing that's gonna send him into the meta maybe in the next couple of months. I saw this exact same thing happen with Mei, where I've been saying for years, Mei is meta, no one believed me, they called me a loser virgin, I cried, and then all of a sudden recently everyone becomes a Mei main. Alright, that's fine. With Soldier, it's not necessarily the same thing, but I'm starting to see a lot more people play Soldier because he has consistent DPS. Unlike McCree, where if you miss your shots, Soldier is a little bit more forgiving. And now with his Helix rocket having a 6-second cooldown, you're gonna have a lot more frequent opportunities to put out DPS than what you did before. Yeah, it's 2 seconds less, but that can go a long way in a 10-minute match. If you're able to get a couple of headshots on a squishy, that's an insta-kill right there. So, well, for years, and still to this very day, he is not the go-to hero. He's not the go-to hit scan. He's not the go-to DPS hero. He's just below average. Like, he is not the worst, but he's not even average. He's just below average. It's always hard doing these top 5 videos and being critical to somebody's favorite hero, whether it is Soldier, whether it is Torbjorn, or Baby Diva. But these videos aren't supposed to discourage you from playing your favorite hero. Do whatever you want. I'm not your dad. I'm not trying to make these videos to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'm just doing this for entertainment purposes. Everyone deserves to be criticized, including me. Now, that's not to say I'm not gonna cry, because I will, because I'm very sensitive, but if your favorite hero deserves it, then maybe I do too. Please don't hurt my feelings. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.